Hey everybody, welcome back. We are in the middle of getting our tracks ready and recorded. Last time you guys were here, we did some guitar takes and how to get them out of your takes list here. Takes to layers, I think they're called layers actually. I call them takes because it's how many tries I had, but anyway, it's either takes or layers, one of the two, practically the same thing. Well, maybe not the same thing. Anyway, we mentioned we were going to do some bass tracking this time. It's mostly like the guitar. There are a few differences that I do. I don't know if everybody else does. So it's really each their own type deal. First thing we're going to do is go ahead into our mixer. And we're going to notice that for both the guitar tracking and the bass tracking, we're using the same amplifier. That is because this is, full disclosure, for beginners. This is a beginner's course on how to record instruments into Studio One. It is not meant for experienced users. You will not gain any extra anything from this. This is just to teach people how to use Studio One if they've just first gotten it. But Ampire comes with Studio One Artist, which is why we're using it. We're only using plugins that come with Studio One Artist so that everybody can join in. They can make the same template. They can record the same instruments, and they can make the same track that we are making here if they choose to, or more. Obviously, if you want to do more, please, by all means. We are using Ampire, and on the guitar Ampire, we double-click it to bring it up. We have a tune driver, a reverb, and a delay, all on, all ready, and recorded on the guitar. And I believe we only get one amp with the artist. So when we move over to the bass, it's the same amplifier, but we are using the delay pedal only. Up at the top of mine, I don't know if yours will come with them as well, but I assume they will. There is a rock setting and a bass setting. So for the guitars, we are using rock, and for the bass, we are using the bass. So, well, now that we've got that out the way, we're going to go ahead and start getting our levels like we did last time, which is where we turn on our audio interface. Our knob is all the way down. Our instrument button is engaged. And then we're going to go into our metering on this side. It's this little button that's got an arrow with a line in front of it. And that will help us get our levels for our instrument. So I'm going to play my instrument. I'm going to engage here on this red record button so that I can hear myself. And we're going to hit the strings. And we're actually really kind of low. So I'm going to take my gain knob on my interface and turn it up until I'm right around that, in between that 12 and 6, the negative 12 and negative 6. That's what I am aiming for. That's what I always aim for. I've recorded many guitars, many instruments like this, in between negative 12 and negative 6. Okay, gonna turn it up a little more. Okay, we're going way too high now, so I'm just gonna notch it back a little. Alright, that sounds good to me, and it looks pretty decent on the meter, so we can just click this little blue button and it goes away, and then we're going to X out. Now our track is already armed, and we are listening. I am listening through my monitor. You don't have to if you don't want to. There's other ways to listen. If you choose to, you can go direct from your interface. If you're doing that, you would click this off, and then you wouldn't hear the sound as it's being recorded. You would hear what's coming out of your interface instead. I choose to keep it like this. So we're going to go ahead and hit the record button and record our bass track with the levels that we just made. We are doing 4/4, 120. Our loop is already set. We've already checked in the previous episode our buffer size, so you shouldn't have to worry about all that either. So we're just going to get into it and hit record and try to lay down some bass. Okay, I do believe we got a couple of pretty good tracks. I actually like this last one, and I think number 2. So if you remember correctly, we shut the arm off so we can hear the tracks being played back. The track up top that is playing through currently is the last track recorded, and if we want to sift through each of those tracks and see which one we want to pick, we hit this solo button, and it will solo that take. So I'm going to hit play. We're going to go through and listen to each of these and see which one we like the best. Okay, I still like that last one, so we're going to hit off on the solo so that it doesn't just keep that track. We're going to close these down, and then just like last time, we are going to duplicate this track. This track's name is going to be, like the other ones, bass main. Well, why are we not doing a bass left main and a bass right main? Well, honestly, bass is my weakest instrument, and I tend to only make one track of it, if I'm being completely honest. So we're going to drag that down. And then we're going to take this main and put it underneath the main guitars. And then here's where it's different for me. For the bass, I only record one track, or have one track. And then I click this little button over here. It says channel format. It's either stereo for 2 buttons or mono for 1 button. That's what I do with my bass, is I use the stereo, and it gives a bit of an extra boost without having to do the extra work. So that's what we're into for the bass. So let's go ahead and hear what it sounds like. That sounds pretty good to me. So let's go ahead and I also mentioned we might be doing some keys. Let's go ahead and try to do the keys too. Let's just try to knock both of them out in one video, because the bass is fairly well the same as the guitar. Now you might be asking yourself right now, why is the bass louder, or maybe the drums are quieter, or so on and so forth. Don't worry about that right now. We're going to get into that during the mixing step once we get to the mixing step. We are not worried about that right now. We are just trying to get your tracks recorded. So, since we're going to go ahead and move into MIDI, and I have no idea what I'm about to write here, so it's literally on the fly. It may not be a whole lot. If we click the little piano up here, it brings up our MIDI plugin that we are using, which we are using PreSonus. We set it to grand piano, but we don't have to use that. So the best thing that I can really recommend, if you really know what you want to use out of these presets, by all means use it. If you don't know, then what we're going to do right now is probably what you're going to end up doing. I don't think it'll sound too great with a keyboard. So I think maybe some wind and brass. Let's see what we got in the wind and brass folder. And I'm going to hit the play button, and then I'm just going to try each of the instruments that I think might sound good. You click the mouse on one of these keys, and it'll tell you what it sounds like. So that's pretty much what I'm going to do until I find an instrument I think I might like on it. Okay, I think I've kind of decided this telephone. I don't know how well it'll sound, but you will get the gist of it. All right, since we've selected one, we're going to double-click the bottom half of the keys track, and that will bring up that. And then we're going to hit play, and we're going to add the keys where we want to put them. So we double-click the bottom half of the track again. That brings up our key roll. It will tell us what key we're in, what note we're hitting, where the note is going on the MIDI map. So we need to... Okay, we're going to go there, roughly in this general region. And I'm going to hit play so I can hear the music. And then we're going to add some notes and see how it sounds. You can extend these notes by going to the edge of the note, holding, and then moving it around. Might be a useful tip for you. Okay, I kind of like that, so we're going to keep with that. And it's nothing major, nothing huge. We can take that, hold the edge, and drag it over until our MIDI track starts. Actually, I'll hold it there so it's an actual 4-bar. And then we turn off our mute. We listen back, see how it sounds. Okay, and since I like it, I'm going to right-click, and I'm going to mix down selection. Okay, again, turn that off. Sometimes that happens where the red light just comes on its own. Usually after mix down, it will happen. It will increase the volume by mixing down, and we are going to rename this keys main. There we go. And then drag her down until she's where we want her, near the rest of our mains. So we're going to hit play on that. Okay, now we have some keys on our recording as well. The only thing missing is vocals, which we don't have to, but I kind of feel as though I probably should put some vocals on there, just to show you how I would record vocals, because it is a bit of a different process as well using the channel strip. But that will have to wait until another episode. So until then, see you later.